Ladies and gentlemen, the Labour Party is staring down one of its most dramatic internal crises in years. Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, one of the most recognisable figures in Keir Starmer's shadow cabinet, is bracing for the sack after a bombshell admission from the Labour leader himself. Let's break it down, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. On Thursday, Sir Keir Starmer confirmed publicly that if the ongoing standards investigation rules that Ms. Rayner broke the ministerial code, the decision to dismiss her will fall squarely on him. And, in his own words, "I will act." The controversy centres on Ms. Rayner's seaside property in Hove, worth around £800,000. She is admitted to paying £40,000 less in stamp duty than she should have on the purchase. That revelation triggered a full probe into whether she breached the ministerial code. During Prime Minister's questions, Starmer attempted to stand firmly by her side, declaring he was very proud to sit alongside his deputy. Chancellor Rachel Reeves also stepped in, voicing full confidence in Rayner, insisting that she had tried to do the right thing. But support in the House of Commons doesn't mean this storm is passing over. The decisive moment is coming fast. Sir Laurie Magnus, the Prime Minister's independent advisor on ministerial standards, is due to publish his report on Rayner's conduct tomorrow, Friday. Starmer made it clear that he will not ignore those findings. If Sir Laurie concludes that she did breach the code, the Labour leader says he has no choice but to take action, and that action could mean sacking his own deputy. In Starmer's words, "We need to establish the facts and come to a conclusion. Obviously, I will look very carefully at whatever report he puts in front of me, and then of course I will act." That is as clear a warning as any politician can give. Division inside government. Despite public declarations of loyalty, whispers inside government tell a different story. One minister told the iPaper, "Yesterday I thought she would be fine. Today I think things are slipping. I just don't see how she can stay in charge of housing." Another insider described a split in opinion, saying that while many still see Rayner as an asset, working class, outspoken, and relatable to voters, others believe Starmer may simply find it impossible to keep her in post, whatever tomorrow's findings say. The insider went further, criticising what they called a media smear campaign by outlets like the Daily Mail and the Telegraph, suggesting Rayner is being unfairly targeted. Yet they admitted bluntly, some people may be privately saying they think she can't survive, but no one is gathering in corners actively saying she should go. In other words, the Labour front bench is in limbo, waiting, watching, and perhaps fearing what the report will reveal. The scandal deepened further when Rayner tried to defend her actions by pointing to legal advice she claimed she had received. She suggested that advice was why she avoided paying the £40,000 stamp duty bill. But now that explanation has been thrown into doubt, lawyers for Rayner have flatly rejected her claim. Verico and Associates, a small family-run firm involved in the property deal, has denied ever giving her tax advice. Joanna Verico, the firm's managing director, told The Telegraph, "We did not and never have given tax or trust advice. It's something we always refer our clients to an accountant or tax expert for. We probably are being made scapegoats for all this." This contradiction leaves Rayner even more exposed, as critics argue her defense is crumbling. So here's where we stand. Angela Rayner has the public backing of Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves, at least for now. But Starmer himself has drawn a clear line. If the report finds her guilty of breaching the ministerial code, her fate is sealed. Her allies insist she is the victim of snobbery and politically motivated smears. Her detractors say £40,000 in unpaid stamp duty is impossible to gloss over, and that her position is now untenable. The clock is ticking. Tomorrow's report could determine not only Angela Rayner's career, but also the unity and credibility of the Labour Party itself. For now, one thing is certain. Keir Starmer has placed the final decision in his own hands, and Labour, as insiders admit, is on the brink of meltdown. In other news, Reform UK leader Nigel Farage has delivered his verdict on Angela Rayner's tax row after the Deputy Prime Minister admitted she did not pay enough tax on her £800,000 seaside flat. Ms. Rayner has been at loggerheads with Mr. Farage over recent weeks, with the Deputy Prime Minister accusing the Reform UK leader of failing young women over his opposition to the Online Safety Act. Meanwhile, Mr. Farage's allies in Reform UK have warned that Ms. Rayner's decision to buy her Hove apartment could be a sign that she is plotting a chicken run from a red wall seat of Ashton-under-Lyne. Reform UK looks poised to snap up Ms. Rayner's once safe home seat, with nowcast giving Mr. Farage's party a 17-point advantage. However, Mr. Farage's damning 9-word verdict puts more pressure on Sir Keir Starmer to sack his Deputy Prime Minister. Speaking ahead of his appearance at the House of Representatives Judiciary Committee in Washington, Mr. Farage said, "I don't see how Angela Rayner can survive this." Ms. Rayner admitted that she had considered resigning from Sir Keir's cabinet after reports revealed she clawed back £40,000 from her stamp duty bill. "I spoke to my family about it," the Housing Secretary admitted. "I spoke to my ex-husband, who has been an incredibly supportive person, because he knows that all I've done is try and support my family and help them." The Deputy Prime Minister also confirmed that she had referred herself to the Prime Minister's independent ethics advisor before blaming the debacle on incorrect tax advice. She added, "I've been in shock, really, because I thought I'd done everything properly and I relied on the advice that I received, and I'm devastated because I've always upheld the rules and always have felt proud to do that. That it is devastating for me, and the fact that the reason why those confidential clauses were in place was to protect my son, who, through no fault of his own, he's vulnerable, he's got this life-changing, lifelong conditions, and I don't want him or anything to do with his day-to-day life to be subjected to that level of scrutiny." Sir Keir was later grilled on Ms. Rayner's tax row in his first Prime Minister's questions since MPs returned from the summer recess. Tory leader Kemi Badenoch claimed the Prime Minister would sack Ms. Rayner if he had a backbone, adding, "It is clear that taxes are going up for everyone, except perhaps the Deputy Prime Minister," Sir Keir replied. In relation to the Deputy Prime Minister, she has explained her personal circumstances in detail. She's gone over and above in setting out the details, including yesterday afternoon asking a court to lift a confidentiality order in relation to her own son. "I know from speaking at length to the Deputy Prime Minister just how difficult that decision was for her and her family. But she did it to ensure that all information is in the public domain. She has now referred herself to the independent advisor. That is the right thing to do." A number of Tory and Reform UK MPs have put pressure on Sir Keir to sack Ms. Rayner. Shadow Housing Secretary Sir James Cleverly said, "Her credibility is in tatters, she's dodged questions all summer, her actions reek of hypocrisy. Starmer is too weak to kick her out." Reform UK Deputy Leader Richard Tice added, "If anyone from any other party had been in that situation and tried to dodge paying the correct amount of tax, no one would have screamed and hollered louder than the Deputy Prime Minister. Morally, her situation was always completely indefensible." However, Labour MP James Frith defended Ms. Rayner over the stamp duty row. "On a human level, it's a very difficult moment for Angela, and I think you saw that in her appearance today," Mr. Frith said. "Ms. Rayner revealed some rather candid details about her home life, including a deeply personal and distressing incident when her son was a premature baby that left him with lifelong disabilities." However, Shadow Science Secretary Julia Lopez also told the People's Channel, "The trouble for Angela is that she's never shown any compassion and consideration when she's been attacking people in her position when in opposition. The challenge that the public have with a lot of this is the sheer brass neck and hypocrisy of Labour over so many of these issues at a time when they are asking to pay more and more taxes to pay for your economic incompetence." Despite not being at Prime Minister's questions, Sir Keir could not resist but taking a swipe at Mr. Farage. When asked by Labour MP Lola McAvoy about Mr. Farage's opposition to the Online Safety Act, Sir Keir said, "The Honourable Member for Clacton is not here representing his constituents in the House he was elected to. No, he's flown to America. He's gone there to badmouth and talk down our country, and worse than that, he has gone there to lobby America to impose sanctions on this country. You cannot get more unpatriotic than that. It's a disgrace Mr. Farage is expected to issue some stark warnings about the state of free speech in Britain, pointing to the cases of both Lucy Connolly and Graham Linehan." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.